Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. BTM here, bringing you a one-on-one on Deccan. I will be playing as the Dutch, facing against the British. It says saving record game, but I actually did not record this game. My opponent did, so disregard that. That's still not how I record games, and if you actually are watching me and are wondering how I go about recording games, that is not how, so do not get any ideas. It was just a person I happened to be playing recorded the game that way. Now, I've been asked a lot to play Dutch, and Dutch actually, as of this point, was one of 3 civilizations I have not put any content of me playing on this channel. So there was no Dutch videos I had put forward. So I kind of decided, you know, for my next series of videos, I wanted to do like maybe 4 or 5 matches with a civilization I hadn't given you guys any content of yet. So that's why I'm actually playing Dutch. I thought, you know what, I'm going to play some Dutch. I'm going to bring you guys something new and exciting. And by the way, I'm going to kind of outline my strategy I'm going to do here, because I'm going to do something really unique and awesome. So pay no attention to the very bad beginning I get in this game. I don't play well initially. I don't get either my crates as fast as I could or as efficiently as I should, although I did do a good job getting my villagers onto food. I didn't do my explorer well, and I also had my envoy be idle for quite a bit, so I didn't do necessarily that great of a job to start off this game. I also built my market a little bit later than I should have, but we'll get into that in a second. So I'm playing Dutch. Now obviously Dutch, as you can tell, I played against a lot, and I mean a lot, in this game. So my biggest goal, my biggest thought when playing Dutch was I did not want to do just some stereotypical crap thing where you throw up 2 banks and you make skirmishers. I didn't want to be predictable, and the problem is I've really felt like Dutch is, every time I played them, has been remarkably predictable. So I wanted to bring something with Dutch that just hadn't been seen or just wasn't going to be easily beaten, if that makes sense whatsoever. So I'm going to be actually trying a little bit of a different strategy here today. I'm going to be doing a Dutch Grenader rush. It's a 15 villager Grenader rush with the Dutch. And the reason why this strategy is a great strategy is because nobody sees the Dutch rushing. I mean, let's be honest, the Dutch are not a rushing civilization. You do not expect the Dutch to rush you. So that automatically gives you the element of surprise. Alrighty. But seriously, the Dutch rush I find is just, it's fantastic. I like doing things that people don't expect. So right off the bat with the Dutch, when you are in age 1, your first card is going to be 3 villagers. You're going to make 5 villagers in age 1, so you're going to end up advancing to the second age with 14 villagers. Fairly standard stuff. You're going to want to get just enough coin to get your villagers to age up, and then you're going to want to get off coin fairly quickly. So because we were on Deccan, I don't think I had to gather coin at all in order to build my first 5 villagers, so I kind of abused that fact on this map. But generally you'll want to put all your villagers on coin to get enough coin to build your 5 villagers, then everybody onto food. That way you can age as soon as possible. While you're transitioning to age 2, you will age with the 400 wood, by the way. You're going to put 4 villagers on food, 7 on wood, 3 on gold, and 1 marching forward to your forward base. Now here's the logistics here behind that. You're going to need to get your artillery foundry up as soon as you age. You're going to need to be able to build houses as soon as you age. You're going to need to be able to build villagers, not necessarily right after you age, but you will need to build grenaders right after you age. And grenaders cost 120 food and 60 gold a head, I believe, and they take up 2 population, if I remember correctly off the top of my head. Artillery foundry, by the way, costs 300 wood, so it's very, very expensive. Now, as you can see here, I was sitting on a surplus of almost 500 wood, and I realized that the artillery foundry would only cost 300. So I then decided at this moment in time, also because I was sitting on a surplus of gold, to queue up 2 villagers to kind of strengthen my economy, and to have my forward villager build the artillery foundry as close as I possibly could. So that's kind of what's going on there. Now, your first card in the colonial age with Dutch, and this is where things get a little bit tricky, is going to be the 8 pikemen, and it's absolutely vital if you're going to do a Dutch Grenader rush that you send the 8 pikemen. You cannot win with Dutch, with a Grenader rush, in my opinion at least, without sending the 8 pikemen. Here's why. Grenaders, while being brilliant against pretty much every ranged unit in siege buildings, they will die, and I mean absolutely die to cavalry. They will get slaughtered, they will get torn apart, they will not be able to do a single thing to any cavalry units. So if you do not, if you do not have those 8 pikemen backing around to protect your Dutch, to protect your grenaders, you're gonna get screwed. Now, the thing you're supposed to do with the Dutch is you're supposed to get enough wood while aging to build your artillery foundry, and then you're supposed to put the 400 wood you get from aging, you're supposed to put that 400 wood into 4 different houses. That way you will have 60 population total, or the capacity for 60 population when you're coming into the next age. That's kind of what we've done here. Now, as you can see, we have our 8 pikemen, and we have, I believe, 4 or 5 grenadiers coming, and we have 60 population, so we've done pretty well overall. We have 18 villagers. This strategy is a little bit interesting. It's a lot like the Russian 10-10 rush or the Indian 10-10 rush, where you quit making villagers. You're supposed to stop making villagers. You're playing this one pretty close to the chest, actually. Now, here's the interesting thing. While you're making grenadiers, you want a 9-6 split. You want 9 villagers on food and the 6 on gold. Now, here's something interesting that happens. I see blue coming to attack my artillery foundry, but I realize, okay, that's only 5 musketeers, so I know that that's not going to be able to stop me. So I'm actually going to kind of circle my grenadiers and pikemen around, and my hope is that if I attack his town, he'll bite the bait and end up running away back to try to protect his town instead of attacking me, thereby allowing me to get more units out and to put the pressure on him. This is a pretty big gamble at this point, especially considering that he will probably kill that artillery foundry very, very quickly. However, he falls for the bait, thankfully, runs back, and now I'm going to slip away with my army. I never actually intended to engage him in his town center with my grenadiers. I'm going to slip away, and I'm going to then keep making grenadiers from my artillery foundry, and I'm going to have this army engage with his musketeers. And I want you to look here how much damage just 5 grenadiers can do to that group of musketeers. With the 8 pikemen providing support, just watch the musketeers get decimated. Now, we have 5 more coming to back them up, and unfortunately pathfinding in this game is really stupid at this point. It wanted to me to take the shorter route, but unfortunately the shorter route was right by that stupid little tower, and I did not want to take any extra fire on those grenadiers, especially since I knew that the artillery foundry was going to survive. But as you can see there, that army completely decimated his much larger army of musketeers without really any major losses. Now, as you can see here, we've really done a great job, so we're actually going to go and try to take out his barracks. And at this point, after you've done your Dutch rush and taken the initial advantage, your biggest goal, I guess, is going to be running around the map trying to destroy his military buildings, because if he gets a stable up, he'll destroy you. Now, as you notice there, I did toy with the idea of building both a stable and a barracks, and I thought I actually did build it, but I ended up stupidly, in my opinion, building neither of them. I am going to send 3 Hussar, though, as my 4th colonial age shipment, or 3rd colonial age shipment, 4th shipment overall. Now, as you can see here, blue is in a world of trouble at this point. We took out his barracks, we've taken out most of his major buildings, and we managed to keep the tempo on him in a major way. And this is just the advantage of grenadiers, is they just decimate so many units. They're very good at siege, and they really allow you to kind of burn through buildings that other civilizations build relatively quickly, relatively easily. And of course, nobody expects the Dutch to rush. I mean, if you're playing a Dutch player, I mean, the advantage the Dutch have, at least in this situation, is that nobody, I mean, maybe the very, very savvy player when playing a Dutch player will, but in general, nobody sends 3 Hussar as their 2nd shipment, or 5 Cossacks. It's always the light skirmisher unit, or the musketeers, or the resource for the barracks. Nobody sends that unit first, and that gives the Dutch a remarkable, capable opportunity here to win the game. Now, as you can see here, I have actually hotkeyed my Hussar on one hotkey, and I've hotkeyed my grenadiers on another hotkey. That way I can kind of manipulate a 2-pronged attack here. I'm going to grab that wood treasure, and then I realize, oh wait, I've already killed the explorer, and I'm going to resume making villagers, even though making villagers isn't the primary point of the strategy. And as you can see here, we get really, really lucky. We managed to catch some of his villagers right behind my town center, not gathering towards him, so that was definitely a very rookie mistake by him, especially at a game of this caliber. And now I'm going to send the bank wagon to kind of bolster up my economy, and this game at this point is pretty well decided. I mean, you look at the score, I'm actually behind him in score, but I've done a pretty good job knocking him off his feet. Now, what I'm going to do here is, my goal is to find his stable, and I was actually expecting his stable to be in this town, because if I were him, I probably would have built it in my town to protect myself, but he built his stable on the plateau, and I now have, what, 16, 18, I don't remember exactly how many, but I have a bunch of grenadiers destroying that stable, getting it taken down quickly, and we're able to destroy that stable before he gets any units out. Now, Here's something he makes a mistake with later in the game that I just wanted to point out while I'm thinking about it. Is later in the game, I managed to catch one of his stables being built. I don't think it was that one, but it was one of his other stables being built. I catch it while being built, okay? And he walks his villagers away from it and leaves it like 10%, 20% constructed, and I destroy it. Now here's the thing, if you're ever going to have a building get destroyed while it's being built, you want to destroy it yourself. And that's not because you want the XP from it, but it's because if it's not completely constructed, then you'll get whatever percentage of wood that's not completely done on it back, if that makes sense. So that's why you, in that instance, should destroy the building even though it's not finished. Now as you can see here, I'm going to keep exploring the map a little bit with my Hussar, kind of seeing what's going on, while I'm going to keep working on building up a better Grenader core. We only have 16 now. I actually thought I had more, and this was the stable that I was mentioning to. He really should have destroyed it himself. He had barely put any hit points into it. If he had destroyed it himself, he would have got, I don't know, 150 wood back or more. Instead, he's going to lose that wood. Now, I'm going to take this opportunity to, instead of directly bombing the town center immediately, I'm going to bomb those villagers that try to get in it. That's great for several reasons. One, it's going to really hurt his economy. Two, it's going to actually lessen the damage that town center will do to me, because instead of those villagers getting into his town center and making them stronger, those villagers are going to be dead, and his attack won't get the bonus for having extra town centers in there. And as you can see here, he managed to get his Minutemen out on the field pretty well, he managed to get his Minutemen out on the field, and they actually start picking apart my Grenadiers pretty convincingly. Fortunately, though, for me at least, it's a little bit too late for him. There's not much he can do. He actually chases after me, and that was a stupid choice there. He really should have stayed back in this relative safety of his town center with the cover fire, and not chasing me back to my friendly territory where I had the advantage. Also, he had longbowmen back there to back him up, that I assume he sent from his home city. Unfortunately, he left the cover fire of his town center and his longbowmen, and he lost both. So rookie mistake there, I guess. So all around though, this was just an opportunity to showcase the Dutch Rush. They're a very fun little strategy, and I mean, nobody ever expects the Dutch to rush. It's just not what the Dutch do. But I'm here to show you and tell you guys the Dutch have an excellent Grenader rush. It's very potent. I'd heartily recommend it in a 2-on-2 or a 3-on-3, especially on this map. I almost make a rookie mistake there, destroying the houses. You're never supposed to destroy manor houses as when playing against a bridge player. And now he gets some Hussar out, and you're going to watch how fast these Hussar start mowing, and I mean absolutely start mowing through my Grenaders. Unfortunately, I can't have the Grenaders start protecting themselves immediately. I have to let the Grenaders destroy that barracks first. If the Grenaders do not destroy that, or that stable first, if the Grenadiers do not destroy that stable first, I would have been in a world of trouble. So I lose some Grenadiers destroying the stable first, and now I have to lose even more Grenadiers trying to fight off his Hussar, even though there's only a small amount. And this is why sending the Pikemen first is an imperative to the Dutch strategy. Now at this point, I know I'm going to be able to defeat those Hussars, so my main goal is getting my Grenadiers out and on the map to find where he's going to be building another stable. But I lost my Hussars, so I decided to go scout with my Explorer instead, and he chooses at this opportunity to resign, and it was GG. There wasn't much he could do. So all around, that was a very good match. This is a great strategy. Let me just outline it again. Age 1, you build 5 villagers. Your first card in the discovery age is 3 villagers, and you age with 400 wood. You hit the second age running, you build 4 houses, you'll build a 4 artillery foundry, you build a batch of Grenaders, you have a 9-6 split, 9 villagers on food, 6 on gold ideally, and your goal is just to pump out Grenaders as fast as you can. Your first card in the colonial, second card overall, 8 pikemen. Your second card in the colonial, third card overall, generally 3 Hussar, and then from there it's however you want to play it. You noticed I sent villagers and a bank. That's because I knew I was playing a British player and I wanted to get my economy back on a strong foot. However, you could probably send 700 wood or a trading postcard or whatever, depending on your needs, or a frontier outpost, depending on the kind of situation you find yourself in. So there we go, guys. Big Thunderman does not play Dutch awesome, but when he does, he Dutch often, but when he does, he rushes, because that's just how we do things here. So I just wanted to get you this video today, and just say thank you guys so much for the support. Our channel has actually had 3 consecutive days of 500+ views, and I've never had that before. And I'm just touched and humbled and so grateful for y'all. So I just wanted to say thank you. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, bringing you a specific strategy, something new, something y'all wanted. And now let's get to today's quote from Sun Tzu and the Art of War, and our quote goes like this: Let your plans be dark and impenetrable as night, and when you move, fall like a thunderbolt.